I had a pair of pajamas that we cut into shorts just to, have shorts. They'll use a t-shirt, and they gave me a pair of spikes. It says visualize victory. From this little piece of grass, you're gonna get to higher land. From this, just believe in yourself.
Hi, welcome to Fit Kids Conversations. I'm your host, David Jacobson, and today I'm joined by Michael Granville. He's got an amazing story. Michael, first and foremost, is on Fit Kids honorary board, which is probably the most important thing he does in his life.
Yes.
And he also is an unbelievable, check this out, holds the record for the 800-meter run for men in high school nationally for 28 years now. Set that record in 1996. The record still stands, and he's got an amazing story to tell from that day and beyond. So, Michael, thanks for joining us. What did that feel like, even to run that fast? 1:46:45 for 800 meters.
I don't know. It felt like I went out there, and that was my goal to make that, to get that day. The whole season, it was a windy season, and my dad was my coach. Was like, Mike, look at the flags, and all the flags were pointing down, which means there was no breeze. Like, tonight's the night to do it. And I had practiced changing my style of running. And so I was used to running fast. I mean, any 800 meter, anybody that runs the 800 meter, you can jog it or you can run it fast. It's still going to hurt. So that's what it felt like to answer.
There's no way around
that. To answer your question, it hurt. But it wasn't, after seeing the time, I didn't feel the pain that much at all. But I had changed my running style. Before, I would kind of reserve the third quarter of the race. But this time, my whole practice was to run that third 200 and then hold on at the end. And that's what I did, and kind of executed that. And it worked. 28 years later, we're still talking about it.
With a record like that, how often do you think about it? Does it occur to you on a daily basis? Like, whoa, I did that.
During track season, that record is, I'm on it, daily. I'm thinking about it daily. I'm looking at it on the videos. I'm checking who's, there's a kid from Texas, Cooper. The last name Luton, if I can say it correct, but I know he's running 149 as a freshman. So that kind of lets me, do my comparison. I ran 151 as a freshman. So during track season, I'm getting pinged from friends and old track heads from my days. Hey, we got another fast one. Do you think? And so during the track season, I'm thinking about it a lot. Off season, it's just whenever I want to feel nostalgia. One way to kind of, boosting and kind of morale. Yeah, it's a good reminder of something that I accomplished and something I worked hard for. And whenever you feel those moments of like, imposter syndrome, that kind of feeling, like, am I really here? And I just look at that. It's like, that boy did this. That was me. You know what I'm saying? And that person is here. Get on up and get out and do some push-ups. Get out there, get yourself up. So yeah, it's definitely a booster. But during track season, it's a daily conversation.
So the record is a big part of your life still. And something you said that I think is really important, and especially for the kids and their parents who would be watching this, is the way it relieves you of imposter syndrome. And once you establish a basis in some level of achievement, you can carry that with you forward and forward. And it doesn't have to be a 1:46:45. It could be something much smaller, just expanding your own personal boundaries or horizons as a human in movement.
I just had this conversation with a boot camper yesterday, and he's coming back. Life takes you in different places. And he was saying, he's gained some weight, he's lost his fitness, he's noticed he's looking at videos and when he was jump roping a lap nonstop, having people look at him, and he was looking at himself. We were both looking at that video, saying, looking at, like, you were that same guy, and you came to my program just like you are now, but you came daily. You had the same ideal that you have now, wanted to be a better self. And now look at you. You're motivating yourself by something you did. So having, that kind of idea, he said to me, he says, you know what, Michael, when I'm feeling like this, my confidence is down, and you kind of put yourself in a spiral, and then you do something, maybe eat sugar, stay up, lose sleep, and then you just keep spiraling into a, self-esteem, depression. And it's kind of like a one begets another. But if you can just break out of that mode, just take the first step and come into the class, let me do the rest. Do it at your own pace, and then see the small victories. And he said, once you start feeling confident about how you feel in your skin, then you feel more confident at work. You're like, you won't just accept mediocrity if somebody treats you unfairly. You know, you're like, no, I have self-esteem. I don't need to take that. And he said this. He goes, as I'm getting more fit, he said, even though I don't like what I see in the mirror, I'm able to do more push-ups. I'm seeing progress. And he's been coming for 2 months now, you know, about 3 times a week. For example, another big reason why I do what I do is to help people have better lives outside too. So not just being able to run a mile in a certain amount of time, is to be able to have a better experience on your vacation. If you ski, to do more rounds of skiing. If you do orienteering, you know, you can do more of those, you know. So again, just have more quality of life as you get older as well. So I'm thinking fitness is movement, brings confidence, and usually you want to be around people. That's another thing too. You know, if you're not feeling happy with yourself, that spiral also means this moving yourself away from people, because the stories that you're saying in your head, that what you think people are thinking about you, you know. And it's like, so just get out there and move, get some sunshine, you know, hear the bird, you know. So yeah.
So how much of this do you actually bring into your coaching and training in terms of getting people to do their own positive self-talk, and you're reinforcing whatever you feel they need for high self-esteem and motivation?
So that's the beauty of coming to GFIT. You know, if you come to the class, that's on brand. You know, I say everybody's name. It's upbeat. I want to make sure that, you know, I'm seeing these people for hours, so and they're coming to have that relief from work. And so part of that is instruction. And this is a form. This is how I'm doing it. I see them as all individual artists. You know, we're athletes and artists, because you're using this. You're moving in spatial. You know, in proprioception. You got to have balance and know where you are in 3D space. That's art, but you're using your body with it, you know. And so I'm telling them that, I'm saying this out loud, and just to see a chuckle, somebody call it, you know, artist, is kind of like, it feels good, you know. Hey, you're calling me creative, and so that's on brand with me. Also, one of my ideas, what I got from track, is visualize victory. I said, definitely, if you're getting track training or individual training, that's something I coached at Gun. That was our hashtag, visualize victory. When I would warm up, that was on brand growing up. My father was a big time boxing fan, and the corner man, you never hear a corner man that is like, okay, keep it easy. No, you're the best champ. You know, you got to put it out there. Just doing, for example, in warm up, in my mind, I would put myself in different scenarios: coming back from behind, winning the race; leading from the front, winning the race; going down to the end line, leaning and winning the race. Each scenario, I find myself in different kind of anxious modes to simulate what happens in real race, but I always see myself as winning. And that's what I want to bring, because I feel like negative words, negative talk, even though it's comforting, because you give yourself that net of, see, yeah, I told you I wasn't going to make it, but what that does, it opens also that opportunity you're not going to make it. I won the majority of my races because I could overhear the other person's like, oh, Granville's here, I'm gonna go for second place. And when I hear that, I'm like, you don't even know I got a cold today.
Right.
And I'm just like, oh, I needed that. And so on the flip side, I'm like, I don't want to have that thought. Even though I'm going against Johnny Gray, I'm in an Olympic trials, I'm going in this race knowing that I'm gonna beat him. Even though it didn't happen, I'm able to say I was at the Olympic trials because I was reaching for the stars. I have a good quote that I hear is, if when you tell people your dreams, they don't look at you like you're crazy, you're not dreaming big enough.
That's right.
You
Absolutely.
know? And I would write it down. Another thing too is write it down, what I tell my athletes. But to go back to what I do in motivation, that happens in class. I give everybody compliments to the point you're like, are you serious? You think, no, this is good. You know, then fix it up with with some form. But I just know you get your endorphins up when you feel good. Yeah. You want to come back when you feel
little dopamine shots.
Little dopamine shots. Yeah. You know, smile goes a long way. And that's what I bring. I did stand-up comedy before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so I try to bring that joke kind of lifestyle to it too. So laughing too burns more calories, you know. So, and I also know my jokes get better too the more push-ups people do, the more tired they get. So,
but if we laugh hard enough, you might back off.
Yeah, every laugh I take off a rep.
No, so that's actually, it's on your T-shirt.
Yes.
Run, walk, lift, stretch,
Laugh.
laugh. I have never seen a fitness T-shirt that had the word laugh on it. More power to you for that.
Continuing my unicorn status.
Yeah, there you go. There we go. Hey, so one thing we talked about a little bit off camera that you mentioned, which I thought was an interesting phrase describing some of your own background from poverty to podium. Can you talk about the meaning of that?
The year that happened, I should say, was 1990. I just have to throw that. I like throwing that. 1990, a little teaser. We lived in East Los Angeles.
Okay.
I was playing baseball that year. My family of two parents and five of us. I have four siblings. We grew up under the poverty line. The government gave us check to live on the 1st and 15th. Those were very important days growing up. And then the 8th is when the food stamps came through, and that was another important day. You can get a little extra. It was just that lifestyle. Section 8, so also the government paid for subsidize our living. So, for example, I'm sure at that time our family of 7 was making, whatever, not say making, but some kind of way we were living off of $11,000 a year. We had helicopters, looking every night. It was, you had to, there was, it was could be rough, but hey,
right. That's Ice Cube and NWA era when all that
those are people that are related. Those are people my family went to school with. So you're seeing, this emerged from the tension that's growing with the police and the poverty and just a lot of people in one spot with no opportunities. With the grace and the forethought of my parents, they put a lot of discipline in us. It's like, hey, you're already at the bottom. If you want to go to college, we don't have any money. It's up to you to use your talent. So they made sure we had straight A's. All of my siblings, we were, straight A students pretty much. My brothers played, concert pianist. I obviously did my sports pretty well. I'm an artist. He wanted to make sure that we had every opportunity to make it out of that situation. He wanted us to go farther than he did. He made it. He went to Northridge. My mom had me at 17 years old, and then and my dad saw something in me, and that was pretty much our ticket out of there. And they treated me, pretty much like that. But we were education, we were family, we were religion, we were discipline. I would create games to keep us entertained, kind of like what I'm doing at Bootcamp now. But I was playing baseball at the time. It's 1990, and Mr. Dad saw me running around the bases. Told my dad, "Is like, hey, this track club over in West Valley are giving out plane tickets." That's all my dad needed to hear. He goes, "What?" He says, "Yeah, they had one of their relay legs is hurt, and they need somebody." And this is towards around this season, and they're going to AAUs and Junior Olympics, which are the highest levels for youth track and field at the time. And he says, so anyway, we got in contact with the powers that be at West Valley Eagles, and they said it gave me opportunity. Drove me from East Los Angeles to like Canoga Park area, somewhere far, early in the morning. And my dad was like, "Oh, I wasn't training at the time." And my dad jogged me to a little park, even though it took like 2 or 3 miles to get there. He jogged me to that park. He says, "Visualize victory. From this little piece of grass, you're going to get to higher land. From this, just believe in yourself. You can take yourself in places that you've never seen before. Just going here, you'll earn a plane ticket and change all of our lives." And I had that on me. I had a pair of pajamas that we cut into shorts just to have shorts. They'll use a t-shirt, and they gave me a pair of spikes and said, "Okay, you start here and you end there. You got it."
That's all there is to it. Right? Huh? It's that simple.
And so okay, and so everybody got in the race, and all the seasoned 12-year-olds were in the blocks. I was in a standing start, and gun goes off. Everybody leaves, and then I'm like, "Oh, it's my turn to go." Went on past them, kept running, finished where they told me to finish, and looked. And at that point, I ran 11.99 for the 100 meters. The national record at that time was 11.98.
Wow!
So at that point, there's like, "Son, you got a plane ticket." And so next thing I know, we flew to Spokane, Washington. They wanted to see if I could run a 400. So they wanted me to see what relays I can be on, and hopefully make it to the next team, because there was the big bad LA Jets that were crosstown, rivalries. that was, bringing in the hot heat. So let's see what this kid can do in the 400. My dad's like, you just earn another plane ticket. And that was in the BR thing. Let's earn the plane ticket, meaning let's make this. The baseline is let's make it there, and then once you're there, then show out, do your best. But the thing is, you got to earn your plane ticket first before you can really show them what you got. So that was end up being our thing throughout high school. Go to Spokane, and he put me in this 400 meters. My dad gave me an idea how to run it, and I'm just having, golden egg, dreams. I'm like, if I do well here, there's more to come. I'm gonna get out the ghetto, which is gonna be great. I'm gonna drive a Mazda, some weird stuff. So anyway, my dad was a student of the sport. That's another thing I teach my athletes. Be a student of the sport. Just don't come out here and do it. Like know the history of it, because there's other people that's you can probably learn from that's taking the same steps. So my dad researched, and there was a kid named Obi Moore from the LA Jets. And he goes, Michael, hold back. There's a buzzsaw in this race. And check this out. I looked at him running. He's really fast. He's going to want to swoop up on you. Get out like you're running. He told me the rate to run. Let him catch up. Let him pass me because he's in shape. I'm just coming off the baseball field. Then he says, now, at the last 100, just give it all you got and try to catch him. So I'm honest, I'm a very loyal son. I listen exactly what my father said. So anyway, but a little bit in me, I got a little cocky because I saw Obi. And he was a year younger. This is, so in the midgets, you had 11 and 12 race against each other. And the next group's 13, 14. So I was 12, he was 11. And he was a little tiny man, little tiny boy. I was like, this is what they talking about? But I still, listened and I got out in the race, did everything I said. Obi passed me like my dad was going to say. But one thing that shocked me was how fast he passed me. And that's the first time I felt fat. I was like, whoa, and I was like, oh, that's his name's Obi. That's what my dad's talking about. So then I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to catch him, but when I get to that mark, I'm just going to try them all. And I got to the mark, and I'm looking at the tape afterwards. You can see everybody's used to Obi doing this, and the crowd, the guy that was videotaping from the crowd was like, yeah, and everybody started talking about whatever else. And then you start hearing saying, hey, woo, you start hearing that. When you hear the woo in track, that means somebody's getting caught. And so you start hearing woo, and then everybody looks, and you see me come in the screen. And then we both finished pretty much tied, and he won, but we had the fastest time in the nation, like at 54 seconds. And that point changed my life. We ended up making it to the Junior Olympics. We ended up getting that relay against them, and it was one of the most epic races of my life. They put him in, and it was a game changer. I think getting out of your bubble and hearing different accents, hearing how different people order, you notice different things from where you grow up, and you understand how different we are, but we're all there for the same thing. That just kind of stood out of it and just said, I wanted to get used to earning that plane ticket, so to speak, at that moment. But back to business, we were moving the relay. So relay, you have 4 legs. And so we wanted to put me, if Obi went first, I would go second so I can make up his lead. If Obi went last, we would go last together. And so if Obi went third, I would go after him. Wherever he would go, I would go after, unless he was at the end. So we're getting there, and their coaches are moving us as we get to the line. It was so intense. But at the moment, it was just, I couldn't think about what it was. I had my pajamas on. Just a couple of weeks ago, our food stamps came, and here I'm eating prime rib in Nebraska. I wasn't nervous. I'm like, this is where I want to be. And so anyway, they end up putting Obi on second leg. He gets like a 80-meter lead. I catch the boy, hand it off in first place by a little bit, and then our anchor leg ran the race of his life. Armon, thank you, Armon. So we broke the national record. And the most important part from there, representatives from USC, people that were with different colleges came up to me and said, you have a scholarship. You keep moving like that. And I just felt at that moment, okay, Dad, this is what we're going to do.
That's bigger than a plane ticket.
It's bigger than a plane ticket. And I see visualizing victory can really take you places.
Beautiful story. Love that.
Here's some advice that I give all my athletes. TLC, tender love and care. See rest as part of your fitness. Massaging, elevation, being healthy enough so you can continue exercising, so you can continue doing what you want to do. If you want to be excelling track and football or just be healthy and walk around healthy. You know, take care of yourself, stretch, massage, and study. Be a student of health. You know, we're in the information age. Right in your hand, you can type in anything you want. You know, how to stretch this, what muscles cause this, and just pick up something to learn. What I can say about GFit is um, GFit is a business that everyone fits. It's a gym without walls because we work out outdoors. And also it's a gym without walls because everyone's welcome. Any size, fitness level, whatever you're training for, I wanted to make sure that you notice that we are inclusive. And that's what fitness should be. I think even with Fit Kids, with GFit, whatever yoga studio that you feel like you love to go to, see it as that's your community. See it as that's your fellowship. And you want to invest in that. And I think health is wealth.
Great advice. Make sure we let the people know where to find you online and such.
You can find me at gfit.co. And I'm pretty sure just type in Michael Granville. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Good talking with you.
Nice talking to you, David.